in a special Monday night raw edition of Off the Cuff Radio, the livest hip-hop show on the web. Got my host T-Max with the facts in the building.
What it do, y'all. It's another marvelous Monday of a main event on OTC. Shout out to our co-host, Sincere Artist, Sandman, Lady Chinchilla. Shout out to our partners in crime, of course, Buddy Boy Entertainment, Da Vinci Clothing, Dirty Basement Radio, Core Financial, Jesse's Boutique. We are live and direct. And, of course, we have our super third party with us, Pittsburgh Pat, who, if he's not with us right now, he shall be joined.
Yo, what's happening? Yo, why don't I got like sponsors? Why don't I got sponsors and shit, man? Y'all like roll off all that shit, people backing y'all. I don't got nothing, man. Nobody fucks with me, man. That's crazy. I'm just Pittsburgh, the dude from Pittsburgh. I don't got nobody. I got sponsors and shit. I ain't got no friends. Man. What the fuck?
I can make the call for Percy. He can do it for you.
Nah, I'm good. I ain't trying to be one of them middle-aged Boy Scouts on that fucking stage saying for 2 fucking hours. I'm good. I don't want to turn this episode into that shit. Yeah, I could go off right now. But what's going on with y'all, man? We got a great guest in the building.
Yeah.
On the line right now, right?
What is it all about?
Man, this dude got a new album out right now called Third Person. People familiar with, you follow C Murder, Soulja Slim, BG, and you continue to follow that genre of real New Orleans shit, real uptown shit, you know this dude for sure. None other than New Orleans Zone, M11. Welcome to the show,
yep.
M11.
Whoa, what's down?
Man, thanks for joining us, man. Listening to this album, man, Third Person. And, man, I'm really liking what I heard. That song we just played, Soulja Slim Mentality. I want people to actually go check out that album. At least just check out that song and really listen to what he's saying. And, man, that shit is hard, man. Any fan of Slim C, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. Like, man, this is a perfect song, man. That shit goes deep. And if you get all the references, that shit is so hard, man. So the whole album's great, don't get me wrong, but that song is super hard. But what's going on, M11?
Oh man, I'm cool, man. Like, it seemed like you took it, you took it the way I put it out there, So I put that song out pretty much be a message, you know what I'm saying? Like, like we do this gangster shit, but at the same time they gotta know that, you know what I'm saying, all that shit like played out, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas trying to get out the streets. We trying to do positive things, trying to turn around, this it's like everybody doing the same thing, repetitious. Everybody following the same trend. Everybody doing the same things, but they're not catching the message. Like they don't understand that everybody you talking about that you following behind either in jail or they dead, man. And that's real.
Yeah, that part of that song, man, like that hit hard, man, because like you know exactly what that is. I'm glad that you talked about it because you're a perfect example. I talk about this all the time. Like the mid-2000s in New Orleans was a crazy time because it was after the No Limit Cash Money thing, and now you had Wayne blowing up, you had Slim getting bigger, C, BG, Juvie, and like Wayne was squad up and everything. And it was a time when everybody's going to blow and the city's on fire, and then tragedy just keeps hitting. You got Mac go to jail, C go to jail, Slim got killed, and all those dudes that he had with him, the Cartel Committee, the only one that is still alive is Menace, and Little Rowan got life.
Went on the streets right now.
Well, Chaotic home too, Chaotic's home, but he just came home, but like that, then with C going to jail, Matt going to jail, all the people, like the movements just got started. BG ended up in jail too. Like there was so much talent, but those were all the leaders to get that talent out there. So a lot of guys didn't get the break that they needed, they deserved, and all that. So the resilience of a lot of you guys from that time, like to actually be able to break through all of that, and Katrina, of course, to break through all that to still have a good career. And I give you a lot of credit for enduring all that, but I'm sure that hurt a lot. Because when did you come into the fold with like starting to rap? Like, and you came in under C, right?
Nah, I'm gonna bring you back a little bit. I came in with Tough Guy. I came in with Marcelo. Marcelo. Yeah, you know, we all grew up in the project when I was, you know, like I said, I didn't come off. I was more like an intern. Like when it comes down, I wasn't a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I was more of, you know, I was the person that was in the streets that was trying to get out the streets. And they, you know, they gave me an opportunity to be, you know, I didn't need to rap back then. Think about it. You just named a lot of major people. You named BG, you named Mac. Oh man, Slim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need to rap. All I had to do was play my part in that circle. You know what I'm saying? And everything started happening. Like you said, I was in the middle of everything. Like, once I saw everything happen, just how you explain that timeline, all the way from it started with ICO. Dodo got killed, and Dodo got killed. Then C took us under his wing with TRU. So we started with that. Then C got locked up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Mac got locked up right before C, but you know, I was to go to supporting all this stuff when we had the shows. And like I said, I seen everything, man. Like, I mean, I was there through it all. So what it made me understand is, like, man, look, I got to change the way I'm thinking. And pretty much ain't nobody else left to talk about the stuff I talk about in my music. You see what I'm saying? I was the only one left. So I'm like, man, I need to start learning this shit and start talking about my life, because we all went through the same thing together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why, like, I wanted to reach out to you, because I've reached out to a lot of artists that were actually there, that were in the mix, and they've seen all that. And what you were talking about, how everybody want to talk about those people, like, but they weren't even around when those people were around. And it's like, really understand what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I that's what I felt like from your record. Like, I felt like you were saying, like, thanks for paying the homage to it, but understand what happened. And you know what I'm saying? Like, understand, like, everybody's gone. Something tragic happened to everybody. So, like, it's time to, like, what do we do to stay away from that type of shit? You know what I mean? Like, how do you move on? And there's a few artists like that I've had on the show that were, you know, trying to get on back then, and they were around all of that, and they seen all of that, and they had to change the way they move. You know what I mean? You got to do things differently. Like, you got to learn. See, like I said, a lot of the young generation, they kind of miss some of the clues that we was giving to them. Like, it's right there in your face. Like, you seen what happened to everybody that you looked up to. You know what I'm saying? So you got to move different. Like, you got to do the opposite. Don't do the same thing that they did and end up, you know, it's going to be the same outcome. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no other way to slice it, man. I love hearing the references. I think it's cool when the young bucks, you know, make the Soulja references and shit like that. I think it's cool that they know the history, because I mean, a lot of places don't have that. But you guys meant so much, you know, this people meant so much to the city. I don't think that they'll ever not have the legacy. You know, we've seen other people's legacies kind of get pushed to the back now with the young crowd. They don't really. But New Orleans don't do that. You know, Slim, C, BG, like the Hot Boys, like that shit's embedded in New Orleans culture for good. But
I mean, that's all we had. You know, that's all we had. You know, that was the whole thing. Like, the only thing we had to look up to back then was drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? That was like that was the biggest thing going on in New Orleans. Like, if you was somebody that was making money in the street, that's what people looked up to. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't have nothing that was like on a positive note. We didn't see, like we watched things on TV, and we actually seen your culture. You already seen your people on TV. You know what I'm saying? Made it out the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that kind of gave us a lot of inspiration. Like, damn, we can do it too. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it just, like I said, I mean, people don't like to talk about it, but it just was like we didn't get that support from, like from the certain cliques of people. Like, meaning that the city, our hood supported us. You know what I'm saying? But you got the other folks. You got the police. You got the, you know what I'm saying? That they was on our back hard. You know what I'm saying? They give us a hard time in Louisiana, man. Like, they give us a real hard time. We was black entrepreneurs making money. You know what I'm saying? We had cars that, they couldn't afford. And they pretty much made our life visible, man. Like, they made it, when they talk about the hip-hop police, I believe that shit. Because they cracked down hard on everybody that was actually part of that movement.
Oh, yeah. You can see it, man.
I'm going to shoot this to you. Now, do you feel like, with part of the industry, do you think they were kind of afraid to embrace New Orleans movement at a time? Because they look at y'all pedigree and they be like, oh, these guys are really about it. It goes beyond just talking about on this record. They really about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, man, but I tell people about that. Like, I talk about like how people perceive New Orleans differently than how they looked at us in the beginning. Like, in the beginning, it really was. It was fear. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was really fear. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, people already gave you that. They already judged you like that. Like, if you say, man, I'm from New Orleans, are you doing this? They automatically gave you, oh, man, he got to be a killer, he got to be this. So they automatically had judged you already. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already had, we couldn't fuck with certain people. Certain people didn't even mess with us because they felt, you know what I'm saying, we don't want this type, around us. They're going to get in trouble, they're going to do this. And it wasn't like that, man. We just really wanted to get out the hood, man.
Now, one thing about
go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Well, one thing about it, Mac 11, number one, it's great to have you with us with the full clip of conscious wisdom that you're giving in terms of how you're letting off. Definitely the pedigree of, like what King and Pat said, New Orleans has always been branded as its own world in terms of, and I mean, just not only New Orleans, but all of Louisiana, all the way from Harvey to, Lafayette, of course, Baton Rouge. I mean, you all really, really, really made an impact on the game at large. We talked about Tough Guys Entertainment, of course, with Marcelo and Currency, his younger brother. What was it like to be starting with them and just watching them grow, and how did that influence you in terms of your movement as you really, really began to really, get serious about it?
I mean, we all was, at one time we all was together. Like, we was all one clique. Like, we was all together. Currency, I could pick Currency up, bring him to the studio all the time. I was that person that was pretty much like, man, you don't gotta, you ain't about to get in these streets, or you ain't about to do this. I'm gonna come pick you up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring you to the studio. Fellow, he just, at the time he was ahead of his time already as for the rapping shit.
Right.
So he was on a whole different level when it came down to that. Like, he was more New Yorkish. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was more New Yorkish type of, I mean, and it's, I looked up to that. Like, so I was always like, man, like, I'd never be like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you something different.
That was great. Like, I would say two people that don't get enough credit are Marcelo and Six Shot don't get enough credit for how dope they are and how early they were that dope. They don't get credit for that. They
was ahead of their time. It was ahead of their time, man. It was ahead of their time, man. And, back then, like I said, it was like, you couldn't just, you know what I'm saying? You had to go through a certain you got to go through certain levels. You know what I'm saying? Like to even be a rapper. Like I had to go through stages. Like I had to be an intern. Like I had to sit down and like when Marcelo Currency in the studio write, I'll write with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got better with my penmanship with writing, because I just hit the studio all day and I just watch them. You know, BG come through, he do a verse. You know what I'm saying? I'm just watching them. But every beat they put on, I used to write to. Then I go back and I spit it to him. You know, I spit it to Cello like, man, listen to this. You know, and he'd be like, all right, you know. Until one day he just gave me a chance, like, man, get on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, get on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that was my break. Like, that was like, damn, that gave me the confidence to be like, damn, like, if Cello fucking with it, then you know what I'm saying? I got it. They motivated to keep going.
And I mean, it's just something. It's just, I mean, just the talent y'all have, and it's not just limited to rapping. I mean, when you think about some of the ballers that came through there, of course, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, you know, formerly Chris Jackson. I mean, when you look at Randy Livingston, Ronnie Henderson, Odell Beckham, Super Bowl champion. I mean, what is it about New Orleans that just brings that heart, that hustle, that drive, that determination? I mean, how did New Orleans really groom you to survive in the industry at large?
I mean, it's pretty much like, you know, it turns into a hunger. You know what I'm saying? Because you growing up, I mean, pretty much you growing up around a bunch of people that don't have anything. Like, we didn't have, you know, you talking about the Magnolia Projects all the way to the Calio. It was poverty. Like, it was really poverty stricken. You know what I'm saying? But we saw good in that, and we lived in that, you know what I'm saying? And we still celebrated, we still had fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can get past that, you can go anywhere and survive. And they always tell you that you can survive in New Orleans, you can survive anywhere on the earth. And that's what gave, you know, that it's just a different motivation to give you, because your goal is to get out that environment. Like, I want to change my environment, and this is the way I'm going to do it. So you just go extra harder, you know what I'm saying, to trying to make that happen.
When you look at the game right now, Mac 11, in terms of where a lot of rappers, because one thing about it is you've lived a real life, so you understand the royalty that comes with it, but also the inherent dangers of it. And, you know, one thing about it is you keep echoing the sentiment of, which is accurate and so sincere, about I lived a rough life, but I'm trying to make it out of there to have a real successful and peaceful life. What is your opinion today about a lot of rappers who seemingly are engaging and embracing the criminal lifestyle and even just jumping into it when they don't have to, but not understanding how dangerous it really is?
I mean, pretty much they misconstrued and shit. Like they taking it the wrong way. Like, I don't know, you know some things you gotta comprehend. They comprehend the whole thing the wrong way. Because we talk about it like we love our hood. Like, we love our hood, and that's what made us. You know what I'm saying? It's like that you know, that made us the people we are today. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that I can go anywhere, go into a room, and you know what I'm saying, and stand out, like, without, you know, just conversation wise. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna say something. Somebody gonna be like, man, you're not from here. Where you from? You know what I'm saying? And they took the wrong element. And even though, like, they took the killing part of it, like, they took that part, like, yeah, we hate busters, we do this, but they didn't take the swag, they didn't take the lingo. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand that that's what make us stand out, not the killing part. You feel me?
Right.
Definitely, man. Like, Mac had this quote when he got out of prison, and I think it's fits what we talk about. I'm gonna mess the quote up like that. And so much he said, like, I'm a soldier. That's what a soldier is. He faces whatever obstacles in front of him. But we're talking about how people want to talk about the soldier lifestyle. They're, how you said, they misunderstand it. One part, the most important part about being a soldier is the part where you overcome it. You get through whatever obstacles in front of you. And that's the part that they're missing. That's the part that makes you a soldier, is overcoming the obstacle, not staying in the obstacle, not letting not letting it get you. The overcoming is what made you a soldier. That's what, to be able to talk about it, to be able to say, I lived it. That's the part of, the most important part of it. Like, Mac did 20-something years, 21 summers. And I believe he was innocent. But that, look how Mac handled that. Look how Mac came out of that. Look at him now. Like, whether he was guilty or not, like, he don't cry about it. Like, he maintains his innocence, but he overcame it. He saw that shit through. And for a lot of people, he always believed Mac would come home, but at the same time, we know this how, like, we've seen how they did see murder. Like, Louisiana has a notorious history of just a terrible judicial system. So, of course, we believe Mac will come home. We believe Steve will come home. But, like, we always don't know what they're about down there, too. And whether you did or didn't do something, like, really kind of don't matter to them, you know? And that's the hard part. But I think what Mac said when he came home, I wish I had the quote in front of me because I was going to use it for another episode. But, he said, like, I'm a soldier. The soldier takes whatever obstacle comes to him and overcomes it. That's the part about being a soldier. That's why we look at Mac right now and we're like, man, that's a soldier right there. Like, no one will ever take that from him. Like,
you got to salute him for that. Yeah, you got to salute him for that because, like I said, all those are personal friends of mine. And if I'm going to give you another fact, but give you another. Me, BG, Mac, and Fiend, we all went to the same elementary school. And
oh wow.
Yeah, and Slim too. Slim was me, Slim, Mac, BG, and Fiend. All of us was in the same classroom. It's like we actually came up together. Like we, we know each other.
That would have been, that classroom was lit.
Full of talent, man.
Fucking teachers, man.
It was full of talent, man. We was. They always talk about me because I was the only one that, I was the one that was always on a do not admit list because I always got into stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's something that I cherish, man. Like, and Mac, I'm gonna tell you something. Mac, every time I talk to him, he always dropping some type of knowledge. And we was talking about something, we was talking about how the situation was. He came home, and he was mainly like, I felt like, man, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? And he was like, man, I'm gonna tell you this. He said, I don't have a problem with any person using me, long as they don't misuse me. And look, think about it. You know what I'm saying? I thought about it. Like, there's no problem. You can use me. Like, use me, but don't misuse me. And that made sense, man. So, like, he always tried to use. Yeah, that's deep. So, that
when did you start messing with C? Like, when your career, like when you was in your career, so like, when did you start fucking with C and TRU? Was that like around the time that he came home on the appeal? Was it like the Screaming for Vengeance era? C?
Yeah. Cause what happened was, like I said, we didn't get a chance for the, I ain't gonna even lie to you, I wasn't even that hard in rap when he went to jail. Before he went to jail, I was more, like I told you, I was running with tough guys, and pretty much when he took us under, you know what I'm saying, it was like, it wasn't that long, like it was temporary because he went to jail like within that year, you know what I'm saying. So all these years passed, you know what I'm saying. I'm doing my thing with Cello, and Cello had his own label. I ended up getting locked up. I got locked up in 2002. Came home in 2003, right before Slim got killed, and it was like, you know what I'm saying. It was like, like you said, it's just things back to back. It was back to back trauma, man. Like, some people would have cracked under that type of pressure, and it's like, I kept going, you know what I'm saying. So when Katrina happened, I moved, I moved to Texas. I'm still in Texas right now, and it's I know Louisiana politics, so they locked me up pretty much for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't trying to get caught up in that same element again. So I stayed in Texas. I got with a label out here, and I was doing my thing with that. So the whole time I'm just critiquing, you know, I'm just handling my business, learning how to do things, how to be in the studio, you know, doing everything the right way. And C came home. So when he came home on the appeal, you know what I'm saying, my little partner, Cornell, that's pretty much who, you know, he pretty much did the thing with the logos and everything. Like he made the, you know, he the one that he made the shirts, he do everything with TRU.
Oh, okay.
And he recommended it. You know, he just like, man, see, looking for some people to be on the label. So I'm like, man, that's my people from, you know, I've been knowing them from the No Limit shit back in the days, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, just tell C I want to holler. And let me tell you the way C did it, man. C had like a, it's funny, he had like something for us to do. Like, he gave all us a track, the same track. He gave everybody the same track, and he was like, spit on it. You know what I'm saying? So we had to go to the studio, do our thing, send it to him, and he reviewed it. So when he reviewed my song, he was like, I'm fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? Welcome. Next thing you know, I was driving back to New Orleans to work on the album with him. And that's where it happened at, man. He recorded the album in his house. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I was actually locked up when that happened, and like I remember just like we had like the little radio head joints that Sony wanted to pick up the radio, and I'm in Pittsburgh, so on the weekends we would get Clinton Sparks Smash Time Radio, and that was our only time that we would like really hear like hard shit, like not singles and shit. Like we heard like, you know, like a little more underground type shit, maybe mixtape joints that, you know, it's just Clinton Sparks like spinning some shit that he liked. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I heard like his first shit off of Screaming for Vengeance. He had that Post on the Block, and he had like the remix with Papoose and Crazy Bone, and I remember like he had this bar like it's something like I'm about to tear this world up. I'm off this house arrest, and when I'm off this house arrest, something I can't remember how the bar went, but that shit like, man, had me going crazy in myself. Shit, I love that joint. But Double XL ended up doing like they wrote up, I think it was Double XL, they did a little write up of him, kind of explaining his situation, and they listed off everybody that he was fucking with. So like, I always kept that in my mind. I'm like, man, you know, I'm Slim, BG, See Murder, Die Hard. You know, I fuck with myself. I fuck with the whole New Orleans. Like, I love New Orleans. LOG, UNLV. Like, I love the entire culture of New Orleans. Everybody, every little style. Like, I fuck with it. So like, that's all I do is try to find more dope shit. So I kept everybody, you know, not even knowing what they did or anything, like Verse, Jay Lyric, G De Niro, you know what I mean? I just like remembered all these names, Verse, and I just remembered all of them, and I even wrote them joints down and everything, man. Just so I came home, I had the shit to check out, got that Screw Vengeance album, and I just, you know, Kelly O Click came out, that Tomorrow joint came out, and I just kept following everybody that I heard repping that true shit. And man, it's a dope collective of artists, you know what I'm saying? And when I heard your Exposed album, that's when I'm like, yeah, I gotta kind of hear everything this dude ever touched. You know what I'm saying? Right. When I heard that, I actually I dissected every song. I digested everything you were saying. And I'm like, man, this dude's ill. Like, he's not just another New Orleans dude. Like, he's not just another face in the crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's a little different. And, well, man, I reached out to you a long time ago for the interview and shit. And you just hit me up.
Did you?
I hit you up a while ago. But I was on a different show before, too. So I ended up walking away from doing interviews for a few years. And I came back with these guys. I hit you up, and you saw the DM one day, like, yo, Like, I'm down. Nice. Because I haven't really been able to game, but it's been cool. And, no.
Yeah, made it happen, man. We bring that New Orleans feel. Because that's the beautiful part about our show.
I'm glad it happened, man. But look, I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna have some fun real quick. I'm 11. I ask all New Orleans artists this because I'm a diehard New Orleans fan. I got a couple New Orleans type questions to ask. Now you can take this first one. You can take this first one any way you want it. It could be for nicest, the for like most impactful, most influential. However you want to take the question, do it. Who's your New Orleans Mount Rushmore? So your top.
New Orleans Mount Rushmore. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look at it, because by me coming up like in the beginning of that shit, so it's like I might look at people a little different, and I say this so much to where I got to keep it real myself. Like everybody you talk to, it's like a no-brainer, right? It's gonna be like Soulja Slim, Legacy, you know what I'm saying? For me, I'm a little deeper on it, so I'm more like Sporty T was a big influence on me. You know what I'm saying? So like I grew up under him, so nobody really, they never really listened to his music back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Back then, he was one of the dogs. Like, he was one of the niggas that was spitting back there. And that's a person I came up under. So I paid attention to everything, you know what I'm saying, that was coming out. But, I mean, it's hard to really do that when we talk about New Orleans because we have so many talented rappers.
It's hard to pick four.
We need a bigger mountain here.
Yeah, you do because depends how you take the question. A bigger mountain because your four nicest, like you could list four of your nicest MCs from New Orleans, and I could list my four. They could be totally different, but we'd both be right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's a lot of nice, you know what I mean? It just depends on like who you rocked with heavy or kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Much, man. Yeah, I tell people that so much, man, because it's like it's so much like we had so many eras of talent that came through. Like, and there's a lot of people like UNLV is like just by themselves because they pretty much started everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they have something to do with my next question.
Yeah, man, UNLV was real influential. I'm gonna tell you why, because if Lil Yah, I tell Lil Yah this all the time, but I was like, dog, we had a little clique. I ain't gonna call it a gang, but we had a little clique where we used to run, and we call it UNLV. And what we used to do, we used to wear the UNLV hat. You know what I'm saying? So we used to wear the Las Vegas, wear that, the red hat. With the with the jerseys,
And this was probably around the time they won the championship. So it was hot for a while.
Larry Johnson,
squad for a while.
Right? So it's like at the time we was, we used to go to these parties. Like any party we went to, we probably went about 20 deep. You know what I'm saying? And we represented, like we'll be in that uptown niggas living violent. Like that's what we'll do in that party. You know what I'm saying? Like any party we went to, the dance we went to, we'll represent that. So UNLV was a real major influence on, on my culture, as coming up. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the next culture. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I think go ahead.
Go ahead. Nah, I'm good.
I was gonna say about them. Like I was gonna ask you, like, who do you think should, like, name a few artists who you think early on kind of set the tone for what New Orleans would become. And I would say what Slim and Six Shot did on like that Hype Enough compilation, what they were doing back then, like with KLC, and then with UNLV, they like, if you take those, like the Mac Mel Calio album, Sixth Around, Uptown for Life, like the Mac Mel Calio, like, which is, they just put out this week. It's on all streaming platforms now, finally. But that album and what, like, Slim and Six Shot we're talking about, that, like, set the tone for, that, like, let everybody know, like, the culture down there, like what was going on down there, the language, the style, the sound, you know, like the slang terms, like, you know, like the term, like that laid like that like had such an impact that like laid the blueprint down for what New Orleans became, because it shifted from the bounce era, which, you know what I mean, like into like the more of the NC, but at the same time still had the elements of bounce in it, but it also had the gangster influence, and, you know, like just to lay down how you guys talked, how you guys dressed, everything, how you rapped, you know, like what, you know, the style of rapping, all that shit. Like Lil Wayne said, people always say, like, man, you must have had writers because you're so different on the cover and shit. And he's like, nah, man, like, the whole birth of Mixtape Wayne came because of Baby not wanting him to rap. He wanted him to New Orleans rap. He didn't like the way that Wayne was trying to rap, like, differently. Like, when he came out this week and said, you know, UGK, Goody Mob, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z are his favorite rappers, and that's how he was trying to rap when he was young, and Baby wouldn't let him. So he started making this shit as like a hobby kind of. So he always had a little bit of that in him, and, you know, he got older. You know, and you said he got better at it, and that's how it looks so different, as if he was aiming to do different shit. And I think LOG played a big part in setting the tone as well, coming from downtown, and he was talking that Soulja shit, the belly, the Reebok, the bows, terms like hot boy. You know, like I think he played a big part. Yeah. And maybe not nationally, but in New Orleans, he was the one guy that wasn't with Cash Money or No Limit, that just kind of had his own movement, made his own huge impact. He's a legend in his own right, you know what I mean? Just for what he was able to accomplish in New Orleans. But so I give him that nod as well. Like that Mac Miller Kellyo album, and then the way Slim and Six Shot were rapping on that Hype Enough shit, I think those are like the biggest groundbreaking type of albums and music that, if you're a fan of, you know, Soulja Slim, BG, C-Murder, you know, Mac, like, you know, the true Chopper City type of committee style of rap, that was the blueprint. Like, all those elements that are in the music we like today come from that, what they did back then. At least that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
We had so much. Yeah, we had so much to choose from, man. Like, you know, you got to understand, we had a variety of music that was coming out, pumping out around that time. So you got to think about it. We had
Jubilee, TRU Records.
Yeah, we had Mystical. We had Fiend, the baddest motherfucker alive. That was his first fucking single with Big Boy. And I mean, yeah, we had so many people that were pumping albums out. You got to think about another person with when you say LOG. So I listened to LOG and I listened to Low Key. Now Low Key was another artist that don't get his flowers, because he was on some other, you know, he was on some other rap. Like he different.
Like some hardcore type shit, kinda, that Gangsta Voodoo Funk album. That shit is groundbreaking as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's when, you know, me and Slim ran together around that time. So around that time, me and Slim would be around me. And I used to bring him to a lot of the shows and stuff he used to do. And, you know, that's what introduced him to Low Key. You know, that's when he did the Weed Fiends, Dope Fiends, Coke Fiends.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, like I say, that was like some, you know, that's what put me on Low Key, you know what I'm saying? And Slim was just, like I said, he was just loved by everybody, man, just by his attitude and the way his you know, the way he carried himself. But pretty much all of us, you know, was like in the same, like everything you hear in the music, it comes from just regular fucking people. It comes from neighborhood. Like that was regular angle in our neighborhood. That's why you hear people say that. You know, you might hear that controversy, or people talk about it, about Hot Boys and how it originated. we know how it originated because I was back there. You know, I was around in the project and everything when all that was going on. But it became a lingo for everybody. Like, everybody got that title. You know what I'm saying? If you was doing these certain things that was in the streets. So that's the first thing that pop in your head, man. That's a hot boy. You know what I'm saying? He out here doing this, he making money, he doing that. You're a hot boy, automatic. So that's a name that was kind of universal. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody couldn't just claim that name and be like, except the people that originated. You know what I'm saying? That was street. That was street dudes doing that. You feel me? But any rapper, no rapper can claim that name and say, "Oh, that's for me," because that was for the hood. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a name that was for the
LOG
hood.
used it. Yeah, LOG used it.
Yeah.
You know, we know the Hot Boys used it. Like, several people have used it. You know what I mean? Like, it did grow into something else. It went into like just like a term. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Nobody could just say I'm. You know, like I'm.
Yeah, nobody copyright that.
I'm a hot boy.
Nobody copyright. I mean, they probably copyrighted it now, but you know, back then that was just a lingo. And like I said, everything that everything that you see in the music is you know, and that's why I tell people when people talk about music and they talk down on gangster music, I try to put it in perspective for them to understand that. We not influencing nobody. We just talking about what the fuck going on in the neighborhood. Like, all we doing is just replaying everything that already happened, that we already saw. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much got your mind made up anyway. By that time,
real, 11.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, that's real. Yeah, that's real, 11, because, you know, a lot of times people want to. The thing is everybody tries to act like, you know, the gangster rap is the cause, when it's really an effect and a messaging of the ills that have already been plaguing American society in general, and black people specifically, since the beginning. You know, and this is something that a lot of times there's always been an issue about, where this country, in terms of the freedoms we enjoy, you know, which I will say is the greatest in the world, because we have the freedoms we have, but that doesn't mean that we are exempt from equality, from non-equality, because we are not equal in this country. We have seen the situations that have shown that black people and people of color have been treated on secondhand status, ignored, ostracized, executed, and anything else. So for us to have a voice is pertinent, and this is something that the ugly reality of the situation some of us come from. Just because it's ugly doesn't make it less important. Just because it's going to hurt people's feelings doesn't mean it needs to be ignored. And it is something that is imperative and priority that it has to be spoken on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
Before we let you go, though, I need your top 5 most underrated New Orleans of all time, too. I need that.
The most underrated?
Most underrated.
I mean, you say it a lot when you say Six Shot. Because Six Shot, I mean, he really talented, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just to add a little icing on it, I can add myself. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's like most people that know me, you know what I'm saying, they know me from, you know, doing things in the streets and shit. So they never did, you know, only I could say like 40% embrace me as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is like, right, man. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta really
you rap too?
Yeah, you gotta really listen to what I'm talking about. When you listen to me, then you'll be like, you know, so you know, that's just hard. Like I said, anybody that heard that album, third person, you know what I'm saying? They pretty much understand. Like, you know, they take me more serious. You know what I'm saying? Compared to, but people just look at it like this. Like, you see, everybody I've been around was always a high status person. You know what I'm saying? So from Slim was a person that stands out. If I'm around BG gonna stand up. If I'm fucking with C gonna stand up. If I'm around Mac gonna stand up. You see what I'm saying? So I'm never gonna be able to, overshadow these people because everybody I hang around is fucking amazing. You feel what I'm saying?
I thought what I like what's dope about you guys is that y'all also respect the craftsmanship of lyricism, because when people really listen to the layers beyond the bounce, you gotta also be spitting, like literally spitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When I listened to your last album, your last the NO Explode that album, you have this joint on there, man. It might be the Bonafide Hustler joint.
Yeah, Bonafide. Yeah.
Then the joint with Dougie Fresh on it.
You said the Dougie. Yeah.
When I heard them joints, it just I don't know, man. Like something just clicked, and I started them over, re-listened to them, and then I just kept going on the album. I'm like, man, I'll admit, I didn't really realize how dope you really were until I started actually maybe I just biasly rocked with you because of who you were affiliated with. You know what I mean? Because I love Slim and C. You know what I mean? So of course I fuck with you. You know what I mean? But when I actually sat and listened to it, and I'm like, oh, that's why they fucking on these hard. You know what I'm saying? When I listened to the whole album in detail, I'm like, man, this dude, what's up? I want to shout out my boy Corey Wisco on Facebook. He probably tagged you a million times on Facebook because he's a big fan of yours. And one day he just posted a link to yours, and it just hit me at the right time. I heard the joint, I'm like, damn, he's hard. So that's when I went back and started listening to you more. And then once this album dropped, I was like, yeah, man, I really wanted to get you on because I want to at least do our part to put this album for our audience to see, hoping they check it out, because I feel that if you just like hip-hop, if you just like lyricism, it fits that. If you're a fan of Slim and C Murder, it fits that kind of music. It has a little bit for everybody, but it's a hard album. It's not lazy at all. You put a lot into every single joint on this album. The Letter to C, that's been out for a little bit, but I'm glad you put that on there, man, because there's not a big enough C Murder movement in the hip hop community. And,
right.
That's a shame. You know what I mean? Because that's a major injustice, especially when people do go to support them and people publicly discourage them from doing that. I think that's a little crazy. But so I do salute you for always holding C down, holding Slim down, and because there's a lot of people that show fake love. You know what I'm saying? You were there for both of them. You're qualified to hold them down, and you do a great job of that. And keeping that music that we, just as fans, we lost a lot too. You know what I mean? Man, I'm gonna give you something right now. What people don't, a lot of people didn't see. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you don't, I didn't get the exposure I needed to get because it's the back. You didn't get the backstory on it, right? So you couldn't get it because we no longer had that machine behind us. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I came in the middle when C got locked back up. So when we had the machine moving, you know what I'm saying, we was about to go with it. We came with the movement, we came with the DVD, and we was about to go real hard. We had a lick still with Asylum, you know what I'm saying? So we was about to go hard in the paint with it. And all that just disappeared, man, when C got locked back up. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of took my time away. I didn't get a chance to get a chance to get that machine, that No Limit machine that that everybody had. You know what I'm saying? So I also say that about G.I. Peaches, and I say that about Lil Slim. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that machine behind them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why they don't get everything they need to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Enough people don't know about it because
they don't have the machine behind it. So we doing this shit independent. So we doing everything we can do strictly just off of social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, man, I thank you very much for your time, man. My co-host, they got another interview scheduled here at the top of the hour, and you gave us a nice, solid hour, great interview. You're welcome back anytime, man. I mean that. And anytime you got any music, man, just hit me up. I got my own show called Soulja Sundays, and it's for that purpose. We got like 57,000 subscribers on our YouTube. So, I'm the New Orleans head of the team. So, I'm using that show to do my part to use our platform to, give you guys the opportunity to share the platform. You know what I mean? Put your music and make it, just gives one more place for other people that might see it. You know what I mean? So anytime you got something, you need to shout it out, put it on the air, play something, you want to come back on to promote something, just hit me up, man. You're always welcome back. I'm going to give you the floor. I want you to tell the listeners where to find you on social media, where to find the album, or anything else you got coming out. Please be on the lookout for. So the floor is yours. I'm 11. I thank you so much for coming on, and go ahead and close us out, man.
Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna get a shout out to you, you know what I'm saying, off the cuff radio. And pretty much just how I go, man. I'm M11, you know what I'm saying? I got my social media is True M11, True_M11. Holler at me. Third person is ready. Click my bio, check it out, you know what I'm saying? You won't be disappointed. I definitely have like 2 more projects I'm gonna put out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta start shooting these visuals. And right now it's just, just in grind mode right now. So like I said, I appreciate even, you giving me the platform to even speak. We gotta do this in segments, you know what I'm saying? Because I got stories.
I'd love to have you back on, man.
For years.
Yeah. I'd love to have you back. We had to do Dirt Gyre on from the 9th Ward. And me and him had a great interview. I had to bring him on for a part 2 because we didn't even get to scratch the surface. And I feel that me and you have a lot more to talk about as well. So
yeah, that's why
I'd love to have a part 2 if you're here in the near future, man.
Yeah, I gave you the intro, man. So just so you know what I'm saying, what history, where I come from. I tell people that, like people, like you probably heard in my song, I said I don't want to get the title of an OG. You know what I'm saying? But I will call myself an OG in this rap shit. You feel me? Because I was there since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So everything you see and every legacy you see on that TV screen, back at, I was somewhere out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So always know that. You know what I'm saying? If you see something, yeah, man.
Marcello, Cutthroat, you could trace you're affiliated like with Marcello and Currency, that's Jet Life and She Murders and No Limit and Slim, you know what I mean? You leave your imprint on the whole culture of New Orleans, man. Your footprint is definitely there, man. And I'd love to have you back on to keep talking about it, man.
All good, man.
Man, you stay safe. And I'll be in touch, man. I do want a part 2, so we'll make that happen this summer sometime, man.
All right, man. Be good. Appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Thank you again so much, man. Thank you.
Man, thank y'all, man.
All right.
Always, man.
There you go. I'm 11. Great guest. Thanks, y'all, for let me bring him on the show, man. I feel he's a great guy. I'd love to have him on for a part 2, man, because we've got a lot of stuff we didn't touch on, But, man, I appreciate it, yo. I appreciate it.
Definitely, Pat, always, man. We always got your back, man, as we know you got ours, man. It's love, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. It's a True C Murder. Rest in peace, Soulja Slim. And I'll talk to you guys again on Friday. Juice Crew Legend. Granddaddy IU.
Yep.
Sir Pat, I'm gone. I thank you guys.
Peace, Pat.
Always, man. So yeah, man, we on hour number 2. We about to go on a little